Good evening. This is All India Radio, Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with Evening News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is a ray of hope for the world in the 21st century. Union Home Ministry says Northeast India witnesses 80% decline in insurgency-related incidents since 2014. World population reaches 8 billion people today. And Home Commissioner Abhijit Sinha says Nagaland is earthquake-prone and requires to take serious measures. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is a ray of hope for the world in the 21st century. He said India is moving with an unprecedented speed and scale today, and the country's talent, technology, innovation, and industries have made a significant mark in the world. Addressing the Indian community event in Bali, Indonesia today, the Prime Minister said country's self-sufficiency in medicines and vaccines during the COVID pandemic benefited the world. On close cultural ties with Indonesia, Modi said India and Indonesia are connected by shared heritage and culture. He said there is so much that India and Indonesia have in common. On the contribution made by the Indian community in the development of Indonesia, the Prime Minister said the accomplishments of Indian diaspora make the country proud. He said Indians are playing an instrumental role in the development and prosperity of Indonesia. The Northeast India region has witnessed an 80% decline in insurgency-related incidents since 2014, when the Narendra Modi-led government came to power at the centre. According to the Ministry of Home Affairs, around 6,000 insurgents from different groups have surrendered in these years. The years 2019 and 2020 witnessed the lowest number of insurgency incidents and casualties of civilians and security forces during the last 2 decades. According to MHA data, a total of 824 insurgency-related incidents had taken place in the region in 2014. A total of 209 insurgency-related incidents had taken place in 2021, and it came down to 158 in 2022. The MHA data stated that during the period, security forces recovered 4,662 numbers of weapons from the extremists. After taking tough steps against the insurgent groups by the Modi government, there has been a significant improvement in the security situation of the Northeast. The world's population is projected to reach 8 billion people today, according to United Nations estimates. The UN's Population Division Director, John Wilmot, said that reaching 8 billion people is a sign of human success, but it is also a great risk for our future. According to the World Population Prospect Report 2022, India is projected to surpass China as the world's most populous country during 2023. The annual World Population Prospect Report released yesterday also notes that the global population is growing at its slowest rate since 1950, having fallen to less than 1% in 2020. The UN said that figure has come due to longer lifespans and the rapid growth of some nations in Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. The latest projections by the United Nations suggest that the global population could grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030, 9.7 billion in 2050, and 10.4 billion in 2100. Home Commissioner Abhijit Sinha today said that Nagaland is an earthquake-prone state which requires people to take serious measures and plans. He said this during the multi-state level mock drill exercises on earthquake disaster NIPEX, which commenced today in Kohima. He asked people to be aware of building bylaws while noting that earthquakes cannot be stopped. Sinha said in Dimapur and Kohima, buildings are constructed densely due to population pressure, and people need to be more cautious to plan and avoid disasters. Joint Chief Executive Officer, Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority, Johnny Rongmei, said the objective of the mock exercise is to qualify the capability of the state in responding to an event of any disaster, development and strengthening of awareness, preparedness, response and recovery losses. Rongmei said that individuals, governments, businesses, and decision makers can't be strangers to disaster management. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on News on Air app and YouTube channel AIR News Kohima. The Supreme Court has described forced conversion as a very serious issue that affects the security of the nation. It directed the centre to take a stand on the matter and file a response in a week about steps being taken to prevent it. A bench of Justices M.R. Shah and Hima Kohli said a very difficult situation will emerge if forced religious conversions are not stopped. The court said if forced religious conversion is found to be correct and true, it is a very serious issue that may ultimately affect the security of the nation and the freedom of conscience and religion of citizens. The court will examine the matter again on 28th of this month. The Apex Court was hearing a plea filed by Advocate Ashwini Kumar Upadhyay seeking direction to take stringent steps to control fraudulent religious conversion. Principal Director, Department of School Education, Thawasilan K, asked school teachers to keep updating on the latest form of pedagogical teaching methods and equip themselves with more skills required for teaching. He was addressing the Children's Day celebration of the Government Primary School for Children with Special Needs, CWSN, under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan at Kohima today. Observing that 10% of the children in the school were children with special needs, he said this required more patience of the teachers to ensure that the children learn alongside other students. Thawasilan asked children to maintain healthy mind and body to focus well in academics. Gedivi Mekro, teacher in charge, informed that there are 116 students in the current academic session, including 15 children with special needs, CWSN. He said other CWSN parents are eager to bring their child to the school, however added that the school is in need of more inclusive teachers. For this, Mekro urged the Department for upgradation to middle school status. Nagaland State is participating at the 41st edition of India International Trade Fair, IITF, New Delhi, being held from 14 November to 26 November under the theme Vocal for Local, Local for Global. Director Industries and Commerce Vitsuto Nute, while inaugurating the Nagaland Pavilion yesterday, informed that Nagaland has set up 14 counters and is among the nearly 2,500 exhibitors participating from India and abroad. Nute said this year the participation is important as the trade fair is being held after a gap of 2 years. Pavilion Director Asenla Walling expressed hope that the participants from Nagaland will go back with fair knowledge of the mega show, which is at a large scale. District Disaster Management Authority DDMA of different districts today held a tabletop exercise to conduct multi-state level mock drill exercises on earthquake disaster NIPEX across the state on 17th November. The mock drill will be conducted on simulations of an 8.7 magnitude earthquake in a designated area, and 4 to 5 staging areas will be selected as earthquake scenario. Line departments and stakeholders were briefed in different districts today, including Jumukadima, Kifre, Kohima, Longleng, Mukokchung and Woka. The main objective of the mock exercise is to create awareness among government agencies and stakeholders to develop preparedness plan on how to manage and respond at times of disaster. The exercise also briefed attendants on structure of incident response system comprising of incident commanders, operations section, planning section, and logistics section, and unit leaders involved, which require involvement of various government departments. And now 20 news, here are the main points again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is a ray of hope for the world in the 21st century. Union Home Ministry says Northeast India witnesses 80% decline in insurgency-related incidents since 2014. World population reaches 8 billion people today. And Home Commissioner Abhijit Sinha says Nagaland is earthquake-prone and requires to take serious measures. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.